Well, thank you all so much for joining. We're incredibly excited to be with you today. Dave and I have been thinking a lot about, how we come back to school, what we think about for return. So I'll just introduce myself very quickly. My name is Andrea Getchis. I'm an associate partner with Education Elements.
Yes, and my name is David Hardy. I'm a managing partner with Education Elements.
Returning really is thinking about how are we literally getting our students to learn in the 2020-2021 school year. Alternatively, what we've started noticing with the work that we've been doing with districts is that not only are people thinking about return, but we're thinking about reimagining. We know that there are many different structures, processes, and systems that have not served all of our students. And this is such an opportunity amidst all of the uncertainty, the fear, and the true trauma that people are experiencing. There is not just an opportunity, but a responsibility for us to come back better than we were before. So today we're going to talk a bit about the levers that we can use for reimagining. So we want to offer the values that we think are so important to redesign. We have equity, agility, and safety. That equity is crucial in this work. I think we know that it is something that we have not seen before. Our charge is to design equitable systems that are co-created. So we don't want to just design for people on behalf of people, but we want to design with our community. So
one of our values in this situation is making sure that we remain nimble as we try to provide the structures and dynamics that will allow change to truly happen.
And given the rise of cases of COVID-19, we want to make sure that we are thinking about the physical and mental health of our students because of the impacts of trauma and the difficulty that we're having around, bringing kids back into school, gathering in public places. So we know that we need to be equitable and agile while also making sure that we're protecting the physical and mental health of our students. So if we know that there is a challenge around something, there has to be a root cause, and we don't want to just treat those symptoms. We want to understand what the real diagnosis is of our problem. So in order to do that, we need to figure out what information we need to collect, who we need that information from, and then we need to involve folks. The next piece we want to talk about is including. And I think this goes without saying that it's important to involve your stakeholders, but we think that by distinguishing the ways in which you can do that is incredibly important to building trust. So there's one aspect where you can invite people to be decision makers and incorporate your stakeholders at the table where decisions are being made and the plan is being communicated out. You can also involve your stakeholders in problem solving. How do you incorporate them into the conversation that gives you insight, gives you information, but doesn't necessarily mean that we're making decisions with hundreds of people at one time. Once you start involving folks into the work that you want to do, your stakeholders equip you with ideas, with preferences. They give you some clarity. And I think that being able to pull from a comment or feedback, what the different trends are, what the true need is something that's crucial to creating.
As we talk about staffing and as we think about the children that are in our school buildings, as our populations become more diverse, how do we get more teachers of color? How do we ensure we keep our best teachers in front of our kids? How do we ensure that we're celebrating and valuing our educators so that they feel comfortable and are growing in our school system? But we're also open to just hearing your challenges and seeing the things that you're faced with right now and helping you get to a more equitable place, one system at a time. Just thank you for joining us today.